So I think it's everything okay. Okay.
Okay.
Just share your image.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay.
So can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Now it's in presentation mode.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Perfect.
Yes, it seems like it's working well. Great, great.
So all right. Okay. Welcome. All right. Welcome back. And so we'll have 2 modules this afternoon. The plan is to run from 1:30 to 3 with this first module, and Dayang will lead that. And then we'll take a break around 30 minutes or so, and then we'll come back at 3:30, and we'll go 3:30 to 5 for the second module. I'll lead that. That'll be around assessment. But for right now, Dayang will lead us with the module around pedagogical approaches of generative AI.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. So welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. Can you all hear me well? Maybe. I cannot see the classroom, but since no one is saying no, probably Andrew, you can see me and hear me. So yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is module 7, Innovative Pedagogical Approaches with Generative AI. So although you cannot see me in classroom in previous modules, I'm following what's happening in the workshop through live stream. And it seems like you are having a great time. So I hope it has been productive and informative. So this is the module 7 overview. So our goal today is to explore some cutting-edge teaching practices with generative AI and then apply them directly by redesigning one of your own lectures or labs. So the module will consist of 4 parts. I will first introduce some emerging teaching practices, and the rest of the class will be activity-based. So this module is, as you have experiencing for today's module, it's probably one of the most activity-heavy modules. And our goal is actually like making sure you have clear ideas and plan about how you actually integrate Gen AI into your classroom at the end of this module. So in this first section, I will walk you through several cases from the literature where instructors successfully integrated generative AI into teaching. So there are many different approaches, and people are experimenting and developing new pedagogical approaches. But I wanted to give you some information about what others are currently doing and reported about their pedagogical innovation. So first, I will introduce what has been already published out there, and then introduce some other possibilities, although it is not published. So as I describe these, think about which ideas might resonate with your own teaching. So please, people have been using generative AI as a better facilitator for active learning, which is the first theme of the innovative practice cases. So Jan and their colleagues experimented collaborative learning with Gen AI in programming courses with the goal of fostering communication and collaboration skills with Gen AI among students. So collaborating with Gen AI, that was one thing that they wanted to experimenting. So the class was conducted in 4 lessons. Each lasted about like 180 minutes. And in the first lesson, students were first introduced to generative AI through the instructor's practical demonstration. So they learned to communicate with Gen AI, how to write prompts, writing effective prompts, by having Gen AI solve lecture report problems in class. And by doing so, they build some understanding of its performance at the very beginning. And in the second lesson, students actually collaborated with Gen AI to understand some difficult programming concepts and code. So students independently deepen their understanding of difficult codes or concepts by engaging in a dialogue with Gen AI, asking questions and receiving explanations, solving problems, and get some feedback on their answers. And in the third lesson, students collaborated with Gen AI to create a simple chatbot application under their guidance. So the instructor first demonstrated their own development process as an example. And then based on the instructor's demonstration, students created a basic, minimally functioning application as demonstrated by the instructor. And then after that, modified the application according to their own preferences. And in the last lesson, like students developed their original applications with Gen AI. So in their app development, they were required to create a balance between with a consideration of the balance between execution and understanding. So which means like ensuring that the codes are working well, and at the same time, students can understand how they are working well at the same time. So this is one example. So students collaborated with AI and communicated with AI in the programming courses. And there was also a trial to develop some interactive tutorials in virtual labs by using Gen AI. So Murali et al. Designed AI augmented virtual labs in cryptography by using React JavaScript library. So the lab included multiple simulation experiments, and each experiment focused on a single concept. So the authors selected two major cryptographic algorithms as the topics of the study. And each experiment, this was like further broken down into 5 different experiments in virtual lab settings. And each experiment had like textual reference material about like the topic itself, and the preliminary like multiple choice test causing students understanding of the texture material, and then also included some actual like simulation experiment itself. And then after that, students like a post experiment multiple choice test, and finally at a feedback survey regarding the understanding of the experiment, so students understanding. So here, an AI-powered chatbot acted as a tutor as they use OpenAI. The authors used the OpenAI's API for GPT 3.5, and the chatbot provided like immediate feedback and helped students understand some necessary concepts like XOR operations. So while they are experimenting in the virtual lab. So not surprisingly, during the process, like based on the student surveys and observations, the authors found the importance of like prompt engineering, the specifically of the prompt tailored to the experiment led more higher student satisfaction about the chatbot. And also the UI of the chatbot itself was also important factors in students' perceptions of effectiveness of it. So they also found that students used the chatbot for both conceptual clarification during the experiment and also guidance on the simulation task. So this is another example. So while students working on virtual lab, they could ask some conceptual clarification questions and also get some guidance about the step-by-step process of the experimentation. And the project-based and problem-based learning can be also augmented by AI. And as you, in the previous modules, you all already like worked with Bailey to navigate how to solve engineering problems with Gen AI tools. So I believe that now you can see more potential on how to use Gen AI for guiding problem-based learning of students because you already experiment it to solve some engineering problems. Although it is not perfect, there is decent potential we can see. So the authors here have students teams build IoT projects with AI tools. Each team chose a specific Internet of Things application area and investigate technologies and real-world cases and developed a project report out of their work. So students leveraged various Gen AI tools while working on it, including ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and Microsoft Copilot, along with some internet and class resources to support their product development. So actually, a key innovation here was a collaborative prompting in project development, which turns the prompting into a collaborative skill itself. The first option was they provided 5 different options of prompting. The first one was like what they call the one in a row, which is a sequential prompting. So here, each member takes turns prompting in this method. So member A writes a prompt, and everyone sees the AI's response. And then the member B revises the response, like the prompt, and adds something to the prompt. And we see everyone sees the new response, and then the member C gives their own version and gets some new response again and again. So then finally, the team discusses and decides on the result. The goal here is to building ideas step by step, and each member improving on the last. And the second option was what they call like team-oriented, which is a joint prompting. So the whole team here discusses and agrees on one shared prompt, different from the previous one. Everyone's add on onto the prompt and see the result step by step. But here, all discuss and write one prompt, and team leads are submitted and review the AI's response together, then agree on the revised prompt. So this cycle repeats with the leader entering the prompts on behalf of the team. So the goal here is maximizing the collective decision making. So everyone is aligned before each prompt. So the third option was a member then team approach. So here each member starts independently, writing their own prompt, and then team reviews all the AI responses together. So each member enters their own prompt to the Gen AI and get the result, and team reviews all the responses. And then they agree on the joint revised prompt and submit it to the team and repeat until they are all satisfied. So the goal here is to first explore the diverse perspectives and then merge into one unified approach. So the first option is team to member. So each member writes an individual prompt, then shares it, and the team discuss and suggests the improvement to the prompt to each other. And each person decides whether to follow the suggestions from the team members and then resubmit individually. So after several iterations, the team discusses all the outputs and decides on the final result. So the goal is balancing autonomy with peer input. So individuals have freedom but benefit from the group feedback. And the last option was independently, cooperatively. So the project is divided into parts, and each member works independently with the AI on their section. And at the end, the team combines everyone's parts into a final product. So it's a division of labor. So the goal is efficiency. So members focus more on the different aspects and later merge the result. So those are some different ways of collaborative prompting, and based on their trial, they found that like students' most preferred option was the second one, the team-oriented, because it felt most collaborative because everyone discuss first and come up with a prompt and revise again and again. And the students also like the fifth option, like independent work merged later, and the fourth options too, like get advice from each other and do some individual prompting. And few liked module the first one because it was slow and less efficient. So in terms of like project development and project-based learning for solving problems, then students will work in team and they will anyway use generative AI if you plan to integrate AI use in the project-based learning. I think this collaborative prompting approach, like introducing some multiple ways of doing it, could be helpful for students. And as an endeavor to foster critical thinking and higher order skills in AI-rich environments, people have experimenting using ChatGPT as a Socratic tutor, especially to foster some critical thinking skill. So students engaged in structured dialogues where tutors, like whether it is human or ChatGPT, like use open-ended questions and probing and challenges to stimulate reasoning and the reflections. And here ChatGPT stimulated Socratic questioning by asking some clarification questions and follow-up questions in a conversational style. And students were encouraged to analyze, evaluate, and synthesize information during the dialogue. And ChatGPT emphasized accessibility in the non-judgmental environment, and this made students comfortable asking questions and experimenting with reasoning. So based on their work, the authors proposed hybrid AI, like and human tutoring models as a future of critical thinking pedagogy. So likewise, it is really good for students like exchange ideas and experimenting their own thinking and get some response and think more. So it can be some useful tool to foster like critical thinking if using a Socratic tutor, the ChatGPT as a tutor like role like that. So and this kind of work was especially helpful and has potential to be helpful in teaching engineering ethics, I think, because students like need to consider various stakeholders and different implications of various different actions. So we by working as a like whether it is a devil's advocate or just the question just some like tools and giving them for fostering deeper thoughts. There is a huge potential among ethics education. So actually, the Smith and their colleagues developed the engineering ethics coach, a custom AI chatbot built on the GPT-4 Omni. So they developed it based on the NSPE Code of Ethics for Engineers and for real NSP case studies. The students form the teams of 3 to 4, and then they were assigned ethical dilemmas that required balancing economic trade-offs with ethical obligations. And while students conducting analysis, the chatbot asked probing questions and highlighted gaps in the analysis. And students wrote individual reflection on what they learned after the activity. So this kind of chatbot can provide some useful tools, be a useful tool for teaching engineering ethics too. And beyond the published cases, there are some emerging ideas too, like role play and simulations. So AI can simulate a client, policymaker, or patient for and community member in project-based courses. Since many engineering projects have implications on various stakeholders, they need to do some stakeholder analysis when they work on engineering design projects. And they can, the ChatGPT or other Gen AI tools can work as a stakeholder role so that students can practice professional communication and negotiation in low risk environment. And another possibility is creative ideation partner. So this also links to how the practicing engineers are actually using it for their work in their workflow. So similar to how they're using it in terms of like at the very beginning of their project, starts generating multiple different potential solutions, and starting from there, students can also like brainstorm with the Gen AI to explore multiple alternative design options and research approaches. And this can help overcome some fixation of initial ideas and broaden solution spectrum that students can explore further. So another possibilities is AI-driven peer review assessment. So since peer reviewing is also a pedagogy that can foster students learning more deeply, students can use mix of like actual human peer review and also the AI supported review process. One possibility is Gen AI just like provides a constructive critique on drafts or designs of their assignment or exams before formal submission, and helping students can revise what they wrote and developed already. And another possibility is a personalized study companion. We have discussed the potential of personalized learning a lot during this workshop already, so I do not need to deeply delve into this, but we can provide some explanations at varying levels of complexity about certain concepts that students are struggling with, and adapts to students' individual learning needs. So there is possibility there too, and instructors can think about how to integrate this element into their classroom. So now that we've seen what others have been doing and what are some possibilities, it's your turn. So you will redesign one of your own lectures or labs to integrate generative AI. And in the following 30 minutes, we will work on an activity called Pedagogy Redesign Challenge. So the goal of this activity is redesign one of your lectures or labs by integrating generative AI. So yesterday, you also did a similar activity with Andrew, but yesterday's focus was more on designing your classroom to foster responsible AI use. And this activity is really about pedagogical innovation. So you can choose, you can feel free to pick the same class or lab if you want. But you can choose like something completely different. It's completely up to you, depending on your preferences and what you think you need. So, and as an output, we will develop one-page redesign sticky notes posted for our virtual gallery workspace, which I will guide you later about how to use it, how to do it. So then, first you will work on the redesigning individually, and then we will do a small group discussions to exchange feedback. So step one, please take 15 minutes to fill in the worksheet in the shared drive folder for this module. So choose a course topic and describe your current design, note your target learning outcome, and sketch how AI could be integrated, specific tools or methods, be as specific as possible, and also list expected benefits and possible risks with some mitigation strategies. So if you go to the pedagogical approaches module, so there is a worksheet, and here are notes for the lecture that I just gave, and here is the part 2, and there are some sections that you can work on to describe what you want to do. So please feel free to make as detailed notes as possible, and then we will move on to the group discussion 15 minutes later. So I will turn on the stopwatch now, and you can start working on it.
Dion, can you hear?
No, I couldn't hear. Did someone say something?
Uh,
Okay.
yeah. Can you hear me now? Okay. Dan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, Dan, can you hear me? All right.
Yes, I can hear.
Can
Yeah.
you, they were wondering, can you provide that PDF of the worksheet as a Word document?
Oh, yeah, I can. I will upload it now.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, great.
Nossa, ficou doido aqui o negócio.
Yes, the Word document of the worksheet is now on the Module 7 folder. You now have 2 more minutes. Okay, so it's now time to move on to step 2. So please now start discussing your redesigns in groups. So you can use this following feedback structure. First, discuss the strengths of the redesign, ask questions that you have, and give some like suggestions for improvement. So I will also give you about like 15 minutes so that you can discuss it enough with each other and exchange ideas. And if you want, you can start directly incorporating the suggestion that you get into your plan. Let's start another 15 minutes. Once you exchanged your feedback, you can also start incorporating the feedback that you got into the design that you created today. You have 2 more minutes. Almost done.
Alterina? 391. E porque estão fazendo agora 392, porque só tem um cara fazendo na IMA, a gente não tem jogo. Agora eu tô pegando no cálculo.
Okay, so we are done now with the 15 minutes. So please wrap up your discussion and exchange your feedback. So now it's time to move on to the virtual gallery walk and feedback activity. So now based on the feedback that you received, now that you have like started to adjust your plan accordingly based on the feedback that you get, please start posting your redesigned class or lab idea by creating a sticky note on the virtual whiteboard. So once you follow the link embedded in your worksheet and also this slide, you can also follow the QR code here. So once you follow the link, you need to create an account for the Lucid, but you do not you can use your own Google account for accessing the board. So it will not be that difficult, hopefully. Yeah. So I will demonstrate how to do it. So once you follow the link, you will be able to see this whiteboard, and there are multiple frames in it. So I would suggest each group of you declare one frame, and you can do it by just like selecting one frame and add your group member's name in it. So you can, if there is like no leftover like frame, you can create your own. So what I would suggest is after declaring your own group's frame, please generate your own sticky note. You can do it by double clicking anywhere in your group's frame. Here it generates Dion Kim sticky note, and you can write the meat of your pedagogical redesign in your own sticky note. So let's do that in the following 5 minutes, and we can work on further. So yeah, for the rest next 5 minutes, please make your own sticky note on your group's frame about your redesign work. I see people are still working on it, and if you have limited spaces to put all your sticky notes on your frame, it's fine to like make your sticky notes in a different places. So do not worry about that. And I see that still you're working on it, and so we can take a little bit more time on making posting first. And once you're done with your posting, you can start looking at others' work, especially the work of others, people who are in different groups, who you haven't interacted with for this activity yet. And you can leave comments on their sticky notes by right-click their sticky note. So you can, for example, here I am interested in like making notes on Raphael's sticky notes. Then I can right-click and you can add comments by clicking Add Comment. So you can leave it your comments there. So yeah, please review others' work and give comments, suggestions, feedbacks that can be helpful for others. And I suggest other workshop facilitators, Andrew, Mitch, and Bailey. If you are available, please also review others and make some comments, feedback. Okay, seems like you are still making new posts and uploading your new posts, but at the same time, you're really enjoying the board activity. Like I see some of your group photos there and some detailed explanation about your project. I see there are many interesting ideas discussed here, including some um, integrating AI. Actually, in the programming course, like asking students to develop their own AI chatbot. Um, and some classes also discuss the students identify the project that they want to solve about like DNA. I see that many interesting projects are going on, and I see that some of you are interested in implementing um, like Socratic method and also like adding the chatbot for virtual labs. So it's more great. So yeah, I hope you can like keep developing your own idea about what can be done in your class and leave some comments and feedback on others' work so that others can further develop their idea so that actually they can implement those in their classroom really. So um today we explore the innovative practices and we designed activities and exchanged ideas. I hope your redesigned lecture or lab with a concrete step that you can take forward. I encourage you to pilot it and keep gathering feedback and refining further. Um, and thank you very much for your thoughtful engagement. You can keep working on it if you want to add more contents in it. But I think the next module is about assessment. So now you thought about how to integrate generative AI in your teaching practices. Um, the next module is about how to actually assess student learning out of your classroom. So Andrew will lead that, but before that, I think we can take some rest, I think. Thank you so much for the engagement.
Posso faltar, já fica cabelo, agora.